Hello, everybody. You have tuned in to Eric Jose on Making a Murderer on YouTube. I cover virtually any aspect of making a murderer. I go over the evidence, the documents, the photos. So if you like, stay tuned, and in the future I'll have many more videos besides the one you're about to see. Hello, folks. How you doing? We're here today to talk about, let's say, the Ryan Hillegas situation. Okay? Now, I see a lot of people out there, some of them commenting on my channel, some of them on Twitter and stuff, about how she should have never named Ryan. Why would she name Ryan? That's, ridiculous or whatever. Well, let's look at that claim for a second. To anybody that watched the documentary that maybe didn't pick up on it, there was something called the Denny motion. Okay? Kratz files it at the beginning of the trial. It had just caught on at the time of Stephen's trial, and it's the Denny motion is, in its concept, in what it's meant to do, it's well-meaning. Okay, what it does is it limits the amount of people that the defendant can just like point the finger at and say, well, they could have done it instead of me, or they could have done it instead of me. So to limit the basically bogging down the court and everything, pointing at a bunch of suspects that there isn't like enough for them to really be a suspect. Things like the Denny motion come up. So it's the Denny motion in Wisconsin, and what it means is you have to be able to prove that there was that the person had the means, the motive, and the opportunity to perform the crime. You have to have all three: means, motive, and opportunity. Now, where this runs into a problem with the Stephen Avery case, in my opinion, is because in the Stephen Avery case, the prosecution did not have to offer a motive. Okay? They pinned this whole thing on Stephen without a motive. Well, to me, ever since I learned about this, to me it has seemed massively unfair that Stephen had to prove a motive if he wanted to present another suspect, but the prosecution didn't to prosecute him. So I always thought that was odd. So I honestly feel that the Denny motion should be amended to say that if the prosecution is not offering a motive, then the defendant can offer suspects who may not have the strongest motive or don't have a motive or whatever, something like that. It should be an even playing field, in my opinion, because the way Denny has worked in this case is really unfair. I mean, seriously, the prosecution, like I said, did not have to prove a motive. They didn't have to offer any kind of a motive in order to prosecute Stephen. But in order for Stephen to present other suspects, he had to prove motive. So that's just my thoughts on that. So that brings us to talking about Ryan Hillegas. Okay? The reason why Zellner named Ryan Hillegas is because he meets the extreme requirements of the Denny motion. Okay? She, after getting the detective to go and look into Teresa and his past, found out that there was an abusive past between him and Teresa. There it went. He already had that's basically the motive, that he was not over her, that they had a bit of an abusive relationship, so that the fact that she was pulling away and going out with other men could have set him off and brought that abusive side out of him, and he went too far. So yes, it's hypothetical, but the point is that with the new information that her PI picked up about Teresa and Ryan's relationship, Ryan now meets the requirements of the Denny motion. That is why she mentions Ryan in the document. She's mentioning Ryan because she has a suspect that meets that high standard. That's what it is when it comes down to it. So people are like talking like she did this frivolously, or something like that. I don't know. But no, it wasn't frivolous. It's just she was able to offer another suspect, somebody else to look at. And to be quite honest, people, the fact that the prosecution missed all this information the first time around, it's taking now, 15 years later, 12, 13 years later, to get this information to come out. See, because had anybody looked into Ryan at all and Teresa at all, this would have came up, and the defense would have had that as part of discovery at Stephen's trial, and they would have been able to offer Ryan as a suspect. So you see why it's important? That's why it's important. I don't know. So, what else I'm going to show you here is more shady stuff by Ryan, okay? Right? The guy got suspect for a reason. Anybody who is in doubt of why the guy got suspect, I don't know what to say. I mean, the guy, the way he acts on the stand, the duping delight that he displays on the stand, the way that the way that he acts when he's asked about if he had ever been on the Avery property, and the way he gets all stuttery, and the way he starts acting then, and gosh, and the way he is on the stand, the way he's so dodgy. I mean, I have a few videos about Ryan. The guy does not come off as honest. He seems like he's hiding something, and then you find out something like I'm about to show you right now. Okay? We all know that the front driver's side taillight and stuff was kind of broken off of Teresa's RAV4. Okay? During the time of the investigation, I'm going to show you a document right now where during the time of the investigation, they were checking out the RAV4 at the lab, and so some questions came up. They found the parking light inside of the RAV4. They determined it came from the RAV4, the front driver's corner or whatever, from the RAV4. And then what you're going to see later on in the document is Ryan Hillegas offers an explanation for why the taillight is broken. Okay? So we're going to see that right now, and then we'll come on back. Okay, so up at the top here, we see where it says, Special Agent Fassbender was informed that, as a result of a search of the vehicle, they had not located any receipt book, telephone, camera, not any keys. They did, however, locate a blue athletic type bag, at which time the contents were unknown, and a broken light. Special Agent Fassbender was advised that the light was apparently from Halbach's vehicle and was from the parking lamp from the right front of the vehicle. Then down at the bottom here, Special Agent Fassbender ultimately spoke to Ryan Hillegas, a friend of the Teresa Halbachs. Hillegas did some checking with the family and friends and reported back to Special Agent Fassbender that Halbach had, in fact, damaged the parking light area of her car and actually made an insurance claim. Hillegas advised that Halbach took a cash payout for the damage and had not repaired it. Okay, so there you see clearly Ryan telling Special Agent Fassbender that an insurance claim was made regarding that parking lamp, and that Teresa had gotten a cash payout and just hadn't fixed it yet. So basically saying that damage was already known to be done to the RAV4. So therefore, in case they were thinking it might have happened in whatever was going on, no. He basically tells them that so that they don't think that it got damaged in the process of her getting kidnapped and whatever happened. So there it is. He explains it. Nice and neat. Okay, there. That explains that, right? Okay. Well, now we're going to find out that there was never ever an insurance claim made on it. All right, here we go. This is from the insurance company that held Teresa's policy at the time. Dear Attorney Zellner, you served a subpoena in the above captioned action, seeking any record for policy number blah 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 Wisconsin listed to Teresa M. Halbach, reflecting a claim for damage to the driver's side parking light between 2003 and 2006. Pursuant to your subpoena, Erie has made a diligent and exhaustive search of its records and finds no such claims to have been made presented under Erie policy blah 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 between the years of 2003 and 2006 pertaining to Teresa M. Halbach. As such, the Erie has no records to provide. Okay, so there you have it, folks. That's yet another reason why Ryan Hillegas continues to be suspect. the reason why he's suspect is because of all the things about him. I mean, think the scratches on his hands during the search. I mean, it's just so many things with him that are just odd, that are just, strange. Not least of which is the way he testifies. I mean, he doesn't know anything. I swear, he doesn't know anything. Any question you ask him, I don't know. I can't be sure. It could have been, I don't know. Doesn't know if it's day or night. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, there's so much. I mean, I don't know. There should be no question why Ryan Hillegas gets suspect. It's just the way. I mean, it's just he is suspect. He screams out suspect. He screams out investigate me. I mean, I don't know. And obviously he wasn't, because here we are now. Let's see, the trial was in 2007. So here we are 10 years after the conviction, and we're just now getting this information out. It's proof that the investigation was not good. That the investigation was poor. And if you don't believe it from this, then you better believe it from the fact that look at the way that Ken Kratz acts when Judge Willis asks him about those deleted voicemails. And he asks him, does the state know who deleted those voicemails? And do you see the way Kratz acts? Yeah. Okay? And deflects it. And somehow Judge Willis buys his deflection. And that's it. That's the end of it. So these are the things that show us the poor investigation. It just, everything culminates into a huge problem with this case, despite what the state says and continues to say. I mean, they still think that Brendan's confession was voluntary. I mean, that really just says it all right there. That kid was led down a path. They knew they were leading him down a path. So, anyways, that's about it here, folks. Just wanted to go ahead and point out just yet another dodgy thing about Ryan, and at the same time say, hey, you can't be surprised that this guy's a suspect. You just can't. I'll leave my Ryan Hillegas video, the link to my Ryan Hillegas video below in the info, if you want to go check it out. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe.